Resigned as Blackburn manager, claiming his position had become untenable. Kean took over from Sam Allardyce in December 2010 with Blackburn 13th in the Premier League, but they were relegated to the Championship last season, and in recent weeks speculation over his future resurfaced. Kean released this statement tonight. It is with deep regret, given my hard work and service for the club for a number of years, that I've been forced to resign due to my position becoming untenable. I wish to thank all the players and coaching staff and the majority of the fans who now see their club heading towards an automatic promotion position back to the Premier League. Just hours earlier, Kean told us talks with the board have been positive and constructive.
I know that Paul and Derek, both the directors, know that our talks were positive in many aspects of what we're doing at the club.
So you're here for the long term, no question of you moving away or walking away?
The question, and I only want to go over it once again, is talks are positive. Main focus, getting promoted, and we're on track to do that.
Well, Kean leads with Blackburn third in the Championship table, behind Brighton and Huddersfield, just outside the automatic promotion places after taking 14 points from their opening 7 matches. It was a week ago when Blackburn suffered their first league defeat of the season at home against Middlesbrough. It was a result which prompted those talks with owners Venky's. Last month, the club's global advisor Shebby Singh left Kean in no doubt where he stood.
For me, it's about results. And if we find that after 3 games we've dropped 9 points, that will quite literally mean that we will have only a 50% chance of getting promoted.
How many games have you got the gentleman's asking?
If we lose 3 games, definitely. Definitely. Yes.
Can you just clarify what you just said, please, Shebby? If the manager loses 3 games on the bounce, he's gone.
Yes.
Those views were welcomed by a sizable portion of Blackburn fans who protested against Kean for much of his 21-month reign. Fans' boycott has led to attendances at Ewood Park falling significantly this season, with a crowd of 13,000 against Middlesbrough, more than 9,000 down on the average crowds that they were attracting in the Premier League last season.
I'm almost relieved for him. It's been such a journey for him. He's had, it seems like, years of abuse. The fans seem to have made their minds up very quickly about him. And he's never really been able to recover, and even in relegation and doing well, and the arrival of Shebby Singh, he hasn't really been able to get on with him, find any common ground, but he's hung in there, and credit to him for keeping his head down and keep going while it was all really horrible for him really at times. But I'm almost, like I say, relieved that he's gone just for his own welfare really. I don't know the reasons. Maybe the club wanted him to resign so they didn't have to pay him off anything. There's always those bits of politics involved somewhere. But they've just made his life hell, and in the end he's had enough of it, which is totally understandable.
Well, Kean leads Blackburn with a disappointing record in 74 games in charge. He won 21 times, drawing 16 and losing 37, a win rate of 28%. Former Blackburn striker Kevin Gallagher, of course, was part of the title-winning side back in 1995. Joins us on the phone now. Good evening, Kevin. What's your reaction initially to this news?
Well, I must admit, Julian, initially I'd been doing homework with my daughter, and my phone started ringing, and the house phone was ringing. I thought there was something up, and obviously as soon as you answer it, you get the news. And I was a little bit surprised because he'd done the team talk, or he'd done the press conference this afternoon, so I wasn't really expecting it. It was kind of caught me in the hop, really.
It's been a long, drawn-out saga, isn't it? I mean, in the end, is there a sort of feeling of relief for him?
Well, I think probably in Steve's part, in the end of it, will be relief, because he's been batting against the club, for about last year. It's been hard. It's been hard to take the way the situation of the club went around. New owners coming in, Steve getting the job, and then it was a mountain for him to climb, and things didn't really happen. Results weren't taking part. There was a whole change, and the fans were looking for a face to do it, but with not having chairman there to do it, unfortunately Steve was taking the flak for everybody.
I mean, obviously it got pretty nasty, didn't it, during last season? Were you surprised that they didn't make the change at the end of the season?
I was very surprised, and I mean, Steve held his head high, continuing on with it, and there'd be many lesser managers would have walked away from it. Steve didn't want to do that. He wanted a chance to take the team back up again and work at it. But, although the team's been up the top, they haven't played to their potential. But they've been at the top and getting results, and sometimes that pacifies supporters. But the crowds have been down by about 9,000-10,000. The sponsorship are nothing. There's no sponsors on the shirt. The local companies are taking the sponsorships away from the stands, and it was getting less and less. So I think Venky's were starting to worry a bit financially as well, and I think the fans basically put an awful lot of pressure on them to do something quickly, and obviously it's affected Stephen, and that's why he's gone now.
And immediately, of course, supporters' thoughts turn to the future, don't they, Kevin? Where do you think Blackburn might turn?
Well, it's one or two, and I believe that Tim Sherwood's jumped up to the booking's favourite and things like that, but a lot of the fans that I know would like someone experienced now, maybe a Harry Redknapp. If they could entice Harry to come north, then I think he would be on a lot of supporters' lists. But I don't know. I might throw my hat in the ring myself, but I don't think I get much reaction from that one. But no, I don't know. I think someone experienced now around the football club to help sort of build it for the future along. We can't forget, we need Venky's to be working at this as well. It's just not on the manager's side. Kevin, thanks for your time this evening. We'll let you get back to helping your daughter with the homework. Oh, it's nearly finished now, Jules. Nearly finished. Yep. Thanks so much. Cheers, thank you. Now, on the phone now, Alan Myers, our reporter in the Northwest. Alan, of course, you follow Blackburn very closely. What have you been hearing today?
Well, I think it's certainly come as a shock for a lot of people, which seems strange to say at the moment because there's been so much speculation over the last year and a half, I think, about Steve Kean. And I think for it to come, what's interesting is that it's been done in his control, it seems. But I think from what I've heard is that Kean gathered the players together tonight at the hotel in London where they're staying. Of course, they play Charlton tomorrow, and addressed the players and told them that basically he was sorry to have to do it on the eve of the game. It's not something he wanted to do, but from what I gather, he was unhappy about certain things that were going on at the club, and decided that he didn't want it anymore, and just resigned, and was quite upset about it, I believe. So I think it's come as a shock to the players as well. I think they'll be shocked, ahead of the game like tomorrow at Charlton. And basically that's what it's obviously got too much for Steve Kean. He decided after a long time, and he's been through an awful lot over the last year and a half, I think, decided maybe that time was up now, and he didn't want to take any more.
It leaves the club, of course, looking for a new manager. How do you think the Venky's will go about this process? And I wonder what a new managerial target may view as to the goings-on at Blackburn over the last 18 months or so.
Well, I think anyone who's been in football a long time, Jules, will know that the easy thing is a manager going. The hard part is bringing the manager in and the correct manager. And I think Blackburn are in a certain position now where the next manager that comes in has to be the right one. There's no more room for error as far as this is concerned. It's a strange situation. Venky's, the company and the family are very. I've met them over the last year and a half or so, and they have seemed very, very loyal to their employees, i.e. Steve Kean, and they've wanted to make sure he has every chance that he can have. And I think if you're a new manager, let's make no mistake. This is not Steve Kean's fault on his own. What's happened to Blackburn over the last 2 years is not down just to Steve Kean. There's a lot of factors, I think, involved. Any time when a new family business is taken over in football, it's a very difficult transition period. And I think Steve Kean's had to bear the brunt of that. But I think if you're a new manager or you're the potential new manager looking in and thinking, what I would say is what I've found from the family is that they are very loyal, and they are a family who will give you time and give you a chance to do well. They brought you in. So I think in that respect, you look at it and you look at the way things have gone over the last 2 years, and if you're a manager wanting to come in, you would look at it and think twice, I think.
Okay, Alan, thanks very much.
John Terry will retain